Hello. Welcome to my live stream. So happy to be able to stream for you. Happy Juneteenth. Don't really know what it's about. I imagine it's some important holiday. Most importantly, it's a bank holiday. And I work for a bank. Who knew? So basically, they gave us today off and they're paying for us to not do nothing. Isn't that amazing? You know, we get like 7 days like that a year. And then tomorrow I'm taking an actual vacation day. You know, it's a Thursday holiday, which is fine because we get plenty of vacation. We get 4 weeks vacation. The deal is we actually get 3 weeks. We can take 3 weeks of vacation and then they pay us the other week, which is as a little extra bonus. So that's kind of nice. So I kind of think of it as 3 weeks of vacation and a nice little extra bonus. But I haven't taken any vacation so far this year. I don't think. So tomorrow was my first vacation day, but I'll be taking a lot of vacation days in the second half of the year. What for TwitchCon and Christmas time and all, or TwitchCon at least. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. So let me introduce the stream while people are still trickling in. Excuse me, G-glass. Oh, there we go. I'm wearing my Magrittes today. I think they look pretty cool. Kind of fashionable. Magritte. Who here's familiar with Rene Magritte? Who here? Anybody here? I can get real close to the microphone and it just keeps reducing the sound. You can watch later. That's probably a good thing. That's fine with me. Thank you for stopping in to say that at least. Yeah, unless do you want me to fly the 737 tomorrow and do something else today? I mean, is it important to you to see live? Will you be able to watch tomorrow? I'm not sure you're going to still be able to see here. Because I was thinking I'd fly the 737, which you could watch, of course, on the VOD, just to kind of go into a little more detail about what you have to learn, like Nathan Fielder had to learn to finish his season 2 of the rehearsal. Yeah, you can watch the VOD. All right, we're gonna fly do something very unusual. Today for the first time ever. I'm gonna attempt to cold start a 737 Max. Well, we have one in the game. I checked, and it's got a long checklist. It's going to take us a long time just to get this plane started up and all spinning and things like that. But that's how the actual reality is, and that's one of the most fun part of the game is realistically simulating something. So after doing this enough times, I feel like I could probably go into a 737 and get it off the ground, start it up, and get it off the ground without too much of a problem. I feel like these are some of the most realistic aircraft simulations in the game. And I don't fly the big planes very often. So why today? Well, it's because this important viewer here has finished up season 2. I didn't really want to spoil season 2 by flying the 737 before I knew that our VIP had finished the episode, the season. Not that it's a huge spoiler, but I was pretty surprised that he went all the way to become a 737 commercial pilot, which took a year, in order to finish the show. More than a year, I think. So in honor of his achievement, I thought it was a good show too. We're gonna try to fly the 737 today. Oh, by the way, let me talk about the show. First of all, we got Diet Coke here. I've been sipping on it already. We got the beautiful blue Bluetooth controller right here. We got my throttle bodies all plugged in. We got Microsoft 2024 ready. We'll be flying around. Maybe later after the flying, which is going to take a good hour because it's going to take us 20 minutes before we even think about getting off the ground. We were already 5 minutes in, you know what I mean? Probably 25-minute mark before we even fly anywhere. And it's not going to be that exciting a flight. The 737 is not a stunt plane. It's not aerobatic. It's not for sightseeing. But we'll try to stay low. It doesn't like to stay low. You'll see. All right. After the break, today is guitar day. I'm going to once again play my new fancy cheap guitar. That's my new Leo James Burl. It's kind of the high end of this super cheap Amazon guitar thing. I will check it out. Hopefully it will sound okay. I think I got it set up about as well as you can set up a guitar like that, which is pretty good. It's pretty close to being properly set up, I would say. Not perfect. All right, so let's get started since this is going to be a little bit of an epic sequence here. We're going to be following the checklist, which is like a book basically. All right, so I think I already have the Boeing 737 Max pre-selected, but while we're at it, let's look at the colors. We're in no huge hurry. We can configure this plane. It comes in two basic setups: the business jet and the passengers. let's look at the passenger ones. There's Aeromexico. There's a bunch of real actual like Korean Air. Like, it's probably really cool looking. But then there's also some kind of like a Sun Express. I don't know. Like Commercial One Adaptive, Orbit Airlines, not a real airline. Pacific Airlines, not real airlines. And World Travel. Let's do Korean Air. We'll do Korean Air and we'll take off from Korea, you know? Let's just be wild about that. So where is Korea? It's over here. It's gonna be early morning there. You can see that big dividing line between North and South Korea. Okay, the big airport is Incheon International. Set as departure. We're gonna have to find a nice big large parking ramp here to fit our plane. Let's try this one here. And also, I'm gonna change the time of day. Oh, we have to change the time of day. Okay, that's fine. Okay, parking ramp. We'll change the day, and there's a bug. It's a simple bug, though. So that it's not nighttime. I like, you know, we're going to be starting during the day. But this is a cold start procedure. We may even change the weather. I don't know. It's just a random starting place. A Korean Airlines 737. You know, maybe we'll be a little bit of a cloudy takeoff. I don't know. But we're not even getting anywhere for a while. You know, passengers aren't even loaded yet. Well, I don't know. That's not the issue. Yeah, it's definitely cloudy. Let's mess with it, the weather and time of day. But there's our beautiful plane, our 737 MAX. All right, before we do anything, I mean, let's make sure, okay, we can look around. There's our plane. Yeah, it's a Korean Air 737 MAX. There's not much we could do outside, so let's just go inside here. All right, so the first thing I want to do is ask myself, okay, it's raining out. It's what time? It's that time. We're going to make it earlier in the day. You know, let's leave it live weather, though, for now. I don't mind that it's raining out. It's a little dreary. Doesn't affect, you know, people have to start airplanes even when they're there. All right, let's get this checklist out here, because we're not doing this without a checklist. Okay, so it's aircraft checklist. Pre-flight, we don't have to worry about. Let's assume that we've done all these. We're just gonna make sure these are all. These are things you normally do outside, but we're gonna skip that. That's the outside. Okay, now the preliminary checklist. We're already going to get started with turning our master switch on. So the good thing about these checklists for these planes is you click on this eyeball and it takes you right to the switch that you need. Because otherwise, look at all these switches. How are we going to figure out which one of these switches? I mean, you can painstakingly kind of hover over cooling fan supply, main aft to fuel pump, but it goes right to it says battery. Okay, so you turn the battery on and put the cover in down there. Interesting. Okay. And then we click that. Now, standby power is there. It's on auto. That's fine. External power is, if available. We don't really need on if available. We don't really need external power to start this. Okay, let's check these off. IRS mode should be nav for both left and right side. IRS mode set to nav. Anti-collision modes should be off. They're off. Engine hydraulic pumps on. They are on. Engine electrical hydraulic pumps off. They are off. There's lots more down here. Fuel pumps should be off. They are all off. Trim air should be set to on. It is on. Isolation valve is set to open. Wait, where's the isolation valve? Okay, it's set to open. Very good. LR recirculation fans should be on auto. They're on auto, right? They're both on auto. Engine bleed air switch should be off. They are on off. Very good. Fuel quantity, look at, I mean, I assume we have fuel. Unfortunately, I'm not sure where you're supposed to see that. Let's just say we do. Cruise altitude set. That's fine. Landing altitude set, fine. Fasten seatbelt sign should be in auto. Altimeter is on barometric. Let's assume it is. Left aft fuel pump. That's this one here. We want to turn that on. That's, I believe, so we can start the APU. Okay, so the left aft fuel pump is now on. Check. APU switch set to start. So you pull this down, you hold this for about 5 seconds to start the APU. The APU will give us power to start one of the engines. You can kind of hear it come on a bit. It's on start. Once that comes out of start, that means that the APU has spun up. It's a jet engine, it's a turbine engine, and it takes a while to start up. It takes about a minute, I believe. You can kind of hear it there. All right. So, okay, the gen switches here should be able to get those on, right? Yeah, the APU is on, right? Yeah, okay, so, all right, so these are on. I don't think it does anything, but that's fine. APU bleed on. Okay, so now we've done, hopefully done everything for the preliminary pre-flight. We're not quite on engine start. Okay, flight directors, let's look at. That should be, both of them should be on. Auto throttle should be off. It's off. Gears are obviously down. Speed brakes. Interestingly, actually, speed brakes are probably up. Well, let's speed brakes should be down. Let me just see here. What if we look here? Where does it look at? Okay, yeah, speed brakes here. Down. Perfect. Throttles are at close. There we are, close. Perfect. Engine start levers are at cutoff. That's that. These are the little start levers are, I believe, here. Right? Those are start levers. Yeah. Parking brake is set. Is it? Well, let's look at it. That's the parking brake right there. This is good. It's showing where everything is. Okay, yeah. The start levers, parking brake, yaw damper. That's on the autopilot. No, it's over here. Should be on. Okay. And that's our pre-flight checklist. Whoopee. We've now completed pre-flight. This is going to go for a while. Just get yourself a Diet Coke and settle in. I don't want to hear about it. All right. Actually, we're probably doing faster than on a normal plane. But yeah, typically the co-pilot is, or the pilot, one of them is reading the checklist and the other is saying yes. So electrical system B hydraulic pump on. Fuel pumps. Where are the fuel pumps? There they are. All on. External power off. That's fine. Anti-collision lights on. Okay. Position lights steady. That's a steady. Very good. L and R packs. I don't even know what that are. Oh, air conditioning. Should be what? L and R pack should be off. Okay, air conditioning is off. Perfect. Okay, engine 2. We're finally actually going to start an engine. It's getting pretty exciting down here. All right, the L and R packs are off, right? Engine 2 starting procedure. So engine ignition, we're going to start the engine 2. That's the right engine. I don't know. There's a tradition for some reason starting engine 2 before engine 1 on these planes. But let's see. Okay, engine ignition. No, that's where that start. Where's the ignition? I guess this is ignition. Right engine start switch should be a grid, GRD. Okay. Right engine start lever should be idle. And based on that, we're going to start seeing if there's any activity in engine number 2, the right engine. Or is that engine number 1? Or whatever. So far, I'm not really seeing any spinning. But give it a second. Yeah, I'm not seeing any spinning at all. Okay, those are not spinning up. What did we not do? It worked earlier in the day. Engine 1, it's on right. Engine start, ignition right. APU on. Not starting. Okay, let's try here again. Engine hydraulic system on. You turn both of those on. Fuel pumps on, right? On is down, right? These are all on. External power should be off, but it's off. Anti-collision lights on. Position lights steady. LNR packs are off. Ignition right. Ground start. Because they weren't an idle? I mean, they're an idle. That's an idle. Yeah, boy. It's not really trying to start the engine. Wonder if we'll start the other engine. Put that in idle. Start the other engine. That engine start. Either one of these engines is going to even spin up. Wow. Well, that's a failure. What did we not do? Let's go back to pre-flight. Flight directors on. That's why these planes are tricky. Auto throttle is off. Gear is down. Speed brake is off, down. Throttles are closed. Engine start levers are, well, they were cut off before. Parking brake set, yeah. Okay, engine start. These are all on. Wow. Interesting. Well, I'm going to have to figure out what I didn't do right. Because, yeah, neither engine's going to want to start. I wonder if it was a power issue with APU. If I could try starting the APU again, would that make a difference? APU start. And then you have to put, these are all on. You have to turn the APU generators on. Weird. Yeah, neither engine's going to want to start. You can see they'd be spinning. Wow. I have to decide whether I want to do a reset all. But, I mean, we should be good here. There, right? Battery on. Standby power is on. Actually, it's on auto. Let's put it on battery. External power off, on. Let's try turning that on, but see if that changed anything. Maybe it was a power issue. Did that start anything spinning? No. Interesting. Yeah, these are really hard to do. We're gonna have to do this some other time. When I find out what reliably is you need to do, because we did everything and I checked everything. These are all checked. Those are all on. External power shouldn't matter. Anti-collision lights certainly shouldn't matter. Position lights there. You know, engine start right. Is anything? I mean, hear anything? Is something spinning there? Hey, something started spinning. I think it must have been my APU is not running, and so I had to use the external power method, because you can see that engine is spinning. So the engine 2 is now decided to come out. Is it actually speeding up, though? It's hard to tell. You can see some exhaust coming out of it. This should be an interesting takeoff, because we're going to be sucking up air. Yeah, it's speeding. It is speeding up. It says 13, 14. Okay. So once it gets to 33%, you can kind of see it's spinning up there in a very detailed manner. It's kind of cool. I'm glad we finally got it watched. I think it was that it required that external power, even it says optional, but that's the only thing I did differently earlier in the day. Okay, it takes a while for it to spin up, then we'll spin the other one up. That's just wind going through that wind. Let's see, we're at 20%. Can we be at idle? What does it say here? At 25%, put right engine start level to idle position. Okay, it is there. All right, so we should be able to start the other engine now. Let's try it. Okay, this is at the grid. It automatically turns off. Left engine starter idle. Look at there. Let me see it from here. Okay, it's at idle. All right, so I believe the engines are going to start, but I think it was an APU issue. This engine's also started coming up there. All right, man. The cool thing is when you take off in wet weather, there's quite an effect in 2024 that we rarely see. But yeah, I believe both these engines are now running at idle. All right, we're not going to really do after starting engines. Oh yeah, actually we are. We have to do some of these. Generator control switch is on. Wait, generator control switch. On. Electrical system hydraulic. Okay, those are on. LNR pack should be sitting out to auto. And they are. Goes to air conditioning. Okay, auto. We needed that. Isolation valve. Where is that? Isolation valve. Should be set to auto. Very good. Engine bleed air on. And AP bleed air off. Very good. AP power off, which I don't know if we ever had AP power because it wasn't starting. I may not have started. I don't know how you confirm that the APU is started and is providing power. I think there's supposed to be light that comes on up here and it wasn't coming on. So I think maybe it was an APU issue because without power you can't really start the engines. All right, that's all we really need to do from here. Let's fly around Seoul, I guess. We're gonna ask for takeoff. Basically, depart. I don't care. Whichever way you want us to go, straight out. Doesn't matter. And hopefully we'll get to see some of the cool things here. Boy, it is raining. Where are the windshield wipers? That is my question. Hey, you can ask for an override. Enable ignoring weather at this airport. In other words, but how do you turn on the
taxi to the active
HUD? Where would be the
taxi to and hold short of runway 16 left using taxiway.
I'm gonna need to figure out where the windshield wipers are. Maybe they're here. Clock, micro. You'd think it'd be close to there. Oof. Let's just see if we can even fly. I can always change the weather.
16 left using taxiway. Mike 19 November 7. KNSH 9.
Is there anything even we can see in this airport? Yeah, we're gonna go out around this plane. This is what it looks like from here. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to start the something I've never needed on a plane before, because I never fly in bad weather. But we're gonna do it. How to turn on the windshield wipers on a 737. I wonder if, like, one of my, how do you turn on the windshield wipers on a 737? I can ask my, I'm going to try it. If I ask my, you'd be surprised how much kind of random knowledge there is of very specific plane systems on like, Google or Grok if you ask their AI thingies. But yeah, this is about the speed you normally taxi, you're not going that fast. Feels like we're not going fast. And it's kind of cool how the rain moves according to the wind. The wind across when we stop, it sort of goes and it starts going down again. But yeah, I really want to figure out how to do this. In fact, I'm going to take a short break. I'm going to take a short stop here on the runway. Don't worry, folks. We'll get where we're going. We're going to go back to idle. Brake on. Hold on. parking brake. I want to see if there actually is. If I ask Google this question, I'm just it's one in a million that it will know. I think, but let's see. How do you turn windshield? 737 Max on. Control of off on the right side of the steering column. Oh, that is so wrong. Right side of the steering column. Boy, in other words, the AI it could not figure out that. Hold on a second. There might be a. Yeah, they just have how to do it on a car. Hold on, maybe there's somebody who knows how to do it in TikTok. Yeah, I'll have to find out offline how to do what I want here, unfortunately, which is turn on the windshield wipers. It's gonna have to be okay. I did not expect that. We can change the weather, but I've decided that we're probably not gonna figure out where that is now. If we were Nathan Fielder, I bet he would know where the control is. It's probably down here. Windshield air. Hold on, if we toggle off the yoke, it's any one of these. Outboard weather. Terrain brightness. Auto. Just trying to see if there's something that says in a normal place where you'd expect to see. This is all autopilot related. I would expect to see it actually up here, not there. Wait a minute, where do I get a view? I don't get a view. Hold on a second. Wait, what about over here? Fuel flow. I'm just interested in finding out how this plane works anyway. Nothing there that's gonna be windshield wiper red. I don't think here. It's up here somewhere. Sometimes really near the top. Spoiler, circuit breaker, window heat. Like even further up. Yeah, I mean I'd be able to see it from here. Elevator, lanes, dome lights. Hold on, it's over here. Light recorder, stall warning desk. It really be all the navigation, windshield wipers, breaker panel. None of these say. But I bet it's in some standardized place. Don't worry. Oh, let's see. That I just don't know of because I'm not a commercial airline pilot. Yeah, like up here. Okay, that's interesting. A lot of interesting stuff there. Yeah, I don't know where it is. Wow. All right, let's fly around a little bit, I guess. Maybe we'll fly through it. But I just like the you get that wet effect, which is pretty rare. Okay, we're gonna have to start getting prepared for actual takeoff. We actually are flying. Just because I can't see through the windshield doesn't mean we're not gonna fly. It's not that much better anyway. Okay, we're gonna pause here. Bring the engines back down again. We're gonna get our trim set properly. Trim it back to 0 here. Very good. That right there. Flaps down to takeoff, which is right there. Tune the tower and tell them we're taking off.
Incheon Tower.
We're taking off from 16L here. Well, this is really bad visibility.
Left, straight on departure.
Kench 9er, hold short runway.
I'm not gonna. I'm already we're 30 minutes in and we haven't flown, lady. Say again. We're 30 minutes in, lady. We haven't flown anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting bored. By that time, we're already taking off. No, we don't have permission. All right, this is what it looks like from here. I'm giving it the full juice because we're taking off. And you can start to see that as we speed up, though, the rain kind of gets a little more violent. It's a really good effect, I'm saying. That's what I'm saying here. All right, let's start speed 100. Yeah, I'm not acknowledging. We're out of here. Please acknowledge. All right, we're 130. 130. I think we're going to take off pretty soon. So it looks like Mary Sue. I think we're going to take right off here like this. Okay. Gear up.
Kench 9999er.
Yeah, I wasn't cleared for takeoff, but I was so bored. Flaps are up. You can see exhaust coming out. And let's just pop up here. Now, the cool thing about the 737 MAX is that, boy, yeah, we really need to see. Even the windshield wipers wouldn't really help. But I think we're getting some lightning up here. But we're gonna pop out of the clouds into the bright sun. I have a feeling. The cool thing is that the wings are composite and they flex a lot, and we'll see that once we get some speed going here. Okay, we want to kind of go the other direction if we want to head to the seal. But we're gonna have to change the weather if we want to see anything. But you can kind of see that the wings flex a lot. Let's try to get a nice flat. Like when I'm pushing down, you see they kind of go down. Right? Okay, so now I'm going to get some good speed going here. We're at 250. Now watch the wings when I pull up sharply. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and pull up. And you see the wings, they flex a huge amount on both sides. They flex like 8 feet, the wingtips. And then when I reverse that, they flex the other direction. And the game simulates it really, really, really well. Let's do that again. So now we're going to get some speed going here. We'll go down. And I'm going to pull up sharply, and you can watch those wings flex. From like this angle is a good angle. Ready? Pull up sharply. We want to be down there. You can kind of see how they go way up on the tips. And this angle is actually probably better to observe that effect. It's just really cool. I just get really off on it. You know, this weather is terrible. We're not seeing anything. So we're fixing it. Fixing the weather to not be realistic. Live weather off. Let's go with a few clouds. You can see now, you can see where we are. Beautiful day, but it's not really a beautiful day. Okay. Alright, so the actual city of... Okay, that's the airport there, and you can actually see where we were. But the city is this direction. Kind of this way. I think. If I remember correctly, I don't go to Seoul that much. Incheon is pretty close to Seoul, but it's not quite so. This might actually be Incheon. Seoul is a little further out. I don't know how accurate the game is. Anyway, we'll get nice and low. You would definitely not... there's those checklists there. We can get out of the checklist, can we? There we go. Let's see where we are. We don't need to see that. Yep, it's fine. Oh, over speeding. Lower the engines down a little bit. Global kids. So which way is... Alright, jam up. Speed brakes to slow down a bit. Those anymore. Alright. Yeah, we can kind of see now. Few clouds, still clouds. Which way is Seoul? I think it's up north, kind of northeast or northwest. We'll just head up this way and see what we see. We're actually flying at least. Okay, my controller's vibrating like a vibrator. Do I have to push any of these caution lights? We're fine. The plane is complaining about flying too low. It doesn't like to fly too low. I like to fly too low. But the plane doesn't like it, and that's why the stick is shaking, technically. But at least we don't need the windshield wipers anymore. I gotta find out where they are. I'm gonna spend like 10 minutes, I'll be like, oh yeah, that switch I was looking at 18 times that I didn't even notice. That was the windshield wiper switch. Or it might be behind this down there somewhere. What's down here? Map light. I think we already looked at all this stuff. None of these say windshield wipers. This big thing is not windshield wipers. Clock. I mean, it's all functional. It's just none of it is windshield wipers. And see, windshield air controls. You'd think they'd be in a normal place or near the actual, windshield. I thought there's also individual controls for the co-pilot as well. Which means there's 2 sets of windshield controls. One for the left and right. One for the right.
1,000. Too low. Turn
It's too low terrain. Buddy, I know where I am. I know I'm too low. Oops, too low. Too low terrain. But I love those warnings. They are realistic.
Number 2 for landing. Follow the generic on
Yeah, you'd be getting a lot of warnings if you're doing this. Alright, so speed. Yeah. It's still fun to fly these monsters. Well, I'm just going to get lower then if you want to be like that.
Clear to land runway 16 left. Number 2 Asiana 2281.
What's up here? This is why we don't fly these planes. I don't even think you can you can turn off the alert. You probably could, but I don't know how to do it. So yeah, we're still in Incheon. LG Electronics Incheon campus. I wonder if this is where they make the OLED TVs. Like right around here. Those are good ass TVs, kinda. All right, yeah. So from Incheon, or is it northwest from Incheon to Seoul? It's a ways. It's only like 40 miles. But it's a ways. It's not. They're not right next to it. Let's see if the flight book from out here tells me what I need to know. Yeah, I think Seoul is further this direction. But I don't remember. Let's just keep going. We'll find out. It's a beautiful... It's not. It's raining in Korea right now. But and it's also, what, in the middle of... Very late at night. I don't remember. It's not realistic. But the other thing we're going to be doing later is attempting to land this... Yep, this actual plane. Because, I mean, what's the point of taking off if you ain't going to land it? Yeah, there's a whole bunch of helicopter landing pads up ahead. The, you know, Korea is not as bad as some parts of the world, but it's not as good as Europe and America. Is there some kind of summit there? Some mountain summit, something there? Suansan Mountain Summit Stone. I don't know what that is. Could be something interesting. It's over here. I see some bunch of H's. Let's check it out. You know, oh yeah, we're not getting terrain warnings on too high.
Too low, terrain, too low.
Yeah.
Too low, terrain,
Background
too low,
brightness.
terrain, too low, terrain, too low, terrain.
Background brightness. Let's say main panel brightness. What these do? I'm turning them up. Seems like they're kind of dim. All right, what's up? Oh, ran up. We're going too high. Yeah, I've flown around this area too much, occasionally. But yeah, I might need to look at the actual map to see where Seoul is in relation to Incheon. I think it might be up this here. Let's just stay up there. It's funny they put these helicopter pads. I think those are really just points of interest. I think it's an actual helicopter landing pad there. I don't know why they do that. It says the 2024 quirk. I think it's up ahead. It's a ways though. Well, this is pretty. I enjoy it. Again, this is going to be the if you're wondering if I fly these 737s a lot, I don't, and here's why. I don't find them that exciting. Let's see what's this here. What are these? Speed brakes. Blah blah blah. Oh, is that? Yeah. Those are different than these speed brakes, right? Yeah. I don't know what those are. Is it? Anyway, it's kind of complicated system. Speed brakes. Those speed brakes are for landing only. There's two sets of speed brakes. There's one that you can use in flight and one that's after landing. I do like it that it says Tension 99 on it. On the bottom too. Thank you for fixing that bug. Wasn't there for a while. But, it's a smooth ride, that's for sure. And if you know, if you have 108 friends of yours and you want to get them from point A to point B, this is pretty much your only option. Yeah, I have no idea where we are in the world, which is fine. And yeah, we don't really have the ability to see Seoul from here. But can we see where we are? Okay, yeah, we kind of can. Okay. All right. Based on that, I bet I can figure out where we're supposed to go. Hold on a second here. Pretty islands, though. This is a beautiful day. All right, so where are we really? So, oh, there we go. Over there, between there and there, heading that way. So Seoul is actually east of us, quite a ways. Oh, let's go there. I was wrong about the direction. It was not north or west. It was east. From Incheon to Seoul is east, due east. We headed the complete wrong direction. I don't care. It's pretty.
Korean Air 6, contact ground.
We got plenty of gas, and I got plenty of time. I'm in no hurry. We just want to head east to about, where is it? It's going to be about kind of southeastern here. In fact, we're kind of heading to North Korea at this point, you know what I mean? You don't want to head too far north. Because for multiple reasons, but mainly there's nothing there, and there's no terrain there. Even cities, as far as I know. It's basically a blank pace, or with just satellite maps, imagery, no 3D buildings. Yeah, okay, so we're heading this way. We're going to kind of pass over Seoul and then land at the Seoul City Airport, which is right in front of us. It's not that far. In fact, it's pretty close. Especially because we are in a jetliner. They're fast. But we're going to be landing shortly. Please fasten and stow your tray tables. We're going to have another flight. It's not in a 737. And also, oof, you know what I'm saying? It's probably going to be trying to find something I can fit through the barn. Because I'm not getting enough of that. Landing a 737 is not that big a deal. I mean, not knowing where the windshield wiper switch is when you need it is a bigger deal. You know what I mean? It makes you not a 737 pilot. And I'm not. But landing, that doesn't mean I can't land it. I can land it. It's like any other plane. Alright, let's take a look at what we're looking at out here. I've turned it in magically from a cloudy, rainy day into a beautiful sunny day. And we're moving at a nice clip. Checking out a little bit of South Korea. We'll go back to my ranch. We should actually pass over the airport and then come back. Right. So that's what we'll do. We're not gonna land directly. We're gonna pass over this airport and then make a pass and then come back the other direction. That way we'll get to see a little of Seoul. Because it's kind of on this side of Seoul. Okay, we'll come back into a nice low area here. Yeah, we were definitely heading to the outskirts, and now we're heading kind of back to the populated area. Boy, it's really sensitive to trim. It's really hard to trim it. I could turn the autopilot on, but I'm not going to. Autopilot is not that complicated to figure out. It looks like it's got all knobs and buttons, but it does. But it's basically, you know, you have turn it on from, where is it on? Here. Where's the actual on switch? That's interesting. Actually, I don't even. I'm gonna have to do some training on this one. The autopilot. I mean, it's not.
Asiana 2281. Contact ground on
It's this control here, which is fine. But typically there's an arm. Well, there's an auto throttle. There's a separate auto throttle versus heading and altitude hold. I'll figure it out sometime. Not in a huge hurry. Let's go under this cloud. Check it out. It is a very, very, very accurate, from what I can tell, aerodynamic simulation of the 737. I believe it also includes the system which is designed to prevent you from stalling or from over rotating when you take it off, which is a problem with the 737 MAX, and also the failure of that system caused those two 737 MAXs to go down. But it's a required system that's designed to keep the nose down when you're taking off, so that you don't stall. This is an unusual flight mode due to the engines being large and in front of the wing. When they're pulling at full strength, they tend to make the plane want to go up. Twist up, roll up. And which is fine, because you want to roll up in order to take off, but you don't want to overroll it. Or then you'll get the point where the plane's facing into the sky, and then it's going to stall, and you're going to hit the ground and die. It's a very serious situation, which is why it's not a defeatable system easily. Okay, that's the airport over there, right? But a little bit down the water here. We're going to go a little further. I think downtown Seoul is effectively up ahead on the left side here. And then we'll come back and land at this airport right here, which is kind of... We landed at Incheon International. This is Gimpo, I think it's called. Gimpo International. It's pretty big. But like it's like a lot of the older, closer in airports, it's not used as much for the big planes because of congestion issues. But yeah, we're in the air, and again, we're flying much lower than you normally should. And we don't care. You know, what are they going to do? But like if I were Nathan Fielder and I actually had a commercial 737 license, you would think twice about messing around, even in a simulator, and doing stuff that you absolutely can't do. But nope, I'm not worried about losing my license. Lots of buildings. Again, I don't find the Seoul skyline to be. It's not. It has, from what I can tell, like almost no or few actual, handmade buildings that are associated with real buildings. And I think the reason why is some kind of copyright issue, or somebody owns the rights to the three-dimensional virtual world of Seoul, or there's a pay module. But you can see there's there's all sorts of really cool buildings in the real Seoul, and I looked this up, and they're all right around here. But you won't, like super tall buildings, but you don't see them in the game because they haven't been kind of added in. So they're kind of generic tall buildings. But I think this is at least one part of downtown Seoul. Right? All right, let's land. It's a huge metropolitan area, of course. It's supposed to be down there. I mean, these are just millions of places you can land a helicopter. But they're basically, it says some tower, but then there isn't even a tower there. Some apartment. I'm really not sure why they're labeled. There's millions of them. But like I have a Tokyo landmarks thing installed, which is why Tokyo looks so much better than Seoul. All right, we're going to start to think about getting on a glide path here. We are on a decent glide path. That means reduced power. We're going to bring flaps down. I'm going to think about getting the gear to come down. Is the gear going to want to come down? Do you want to come down, Mr. Gear? There's Mr. Landing Gear. Thank you. Where is this runway we're looking for here? Barely can see it. I mean, it should be right up ahead here, right? Is this even a working... I don't even see an actual runway. Oh, it's over here. Okay. It's not a very big airport. We'll find it. We've got gear down. Flaps are mostly down. It's on this side. It's not a problem. We're at 186, roll fast. Put our little speed brakes up. Speed brakes down. Come in nice and light. Ah, that's too much. Those are our brakes, engine braking, speed brakes. Late. That's fine. All right, actually, not a bad landing. Okay, back to regular braking, regular engines. Flaps come up. Here's the flaps coming up. Flaps coming up. Runway here. Well, we landed without hurting the gear. It did not say you messed up your gear, which previously in the earlier day I did have that issue. I'd like to someday I want to actually try landing from inside the plane, but it's harder for me. Actually, I don't know if it is actually. We'll have to try it. But yeah, next time we run this plane, hopefully I'll have a little more experience with it, but I don't fly them that often because I find them kind of ponderous and dull. But doesn't matter, you know, some people really like watching jetliner flights. Korean Air, and we are in Seoul, South Korea. Wonder if it's going to take us to a gate. Let's find out. Oh, but that's an old L1011. What, it says Boeing, no, it's an MD-10? No, yeah, MD-10. Not L10. It's an MD, old plane. They don't make those anymore. That's right. We'll see if it's going to have us come in here. It is. We might, in which case, we might even get the air, you know, the air, you know, what do you call it, the thing that comes out from the airport. To the left. Voila, is going to make it all the way out. I don't think we... Oh. I think we made it. Wow, check that out. It's a really cool effect. Oh, and it comes over. Oh, come on. Now that is cool. You gotta admit, come on. No. That's the best part about flying one of these planes, is when you come in like that. Now, what that reminds me, do I have a free look button set up? Let's just give me a second. Give me a second. Oh, that's not what I want to look at. Okay, hold on one second. Do I have my free look button set up? Controls, keyboard, free look. That way we can walk around the plane. Yeah, it's Shift A, right? So if I go in the plane, I'm inside the plane, and I go Shift A, does that mean I can walk around the plane? Yeah, but oh, maybe it doesn't let me. I have to get through. Oh. Shift Z. to open up this door, though. It didn't just let me through it. Let me try that again. Shift A. But yeah, the door is closed. I didn't know you could do that. There isn't any... I guess I can walk around whatever I want in the cockpit, but it doesn't let you out of the cockpit unless you can open the door from the inside. Oh, wait. Hold on. Nope. This is going to be harder than I think. Yeah, okay. Can I open it from here? Oh, that takes you outside. Okay. Anyway, okay, that ends our flight. Well, at least we get to see the air stairs. That's what they're called, air stairs. Stay away from the plane. All right, I'm done with this. That was fun, though. Hey, I'm going to fly something that is not, see, the idea is I'm flying here to unstress, not to get stressed out. And everything about flying a 737 is technically stressful. You know, you got people's lives in the back there, and it's complicated and blah, blah, blah. So we're going to de-stress by flying something small through my barn, but what is it going to be? I don't know. Have we flown the Hawk Blue Arrow, the Blue Mesh through? Because I don't think we have. And it doesn't matter if we have. I think we have, but it doesn't matter. All right, so we're going to go to WY32. Y32. There we go. Circle B Ranch. Start off the little grass runway there. This should be good. This is what I'm calling a much more relaxing kind of stream. Part of the flight stream. Yeah, and it reminds me of why I don't want to do those kind of airliner flights live. All right, so here's the ranch. This is, I believe, I don't even remember now if we tried to get this plane, this little dinky plane, through the barn, but there's absolutely no reason why not. It's definitely small. It's a fabric covered ultralight with a Rotax engine Fate Mac as a pusher configuration. All right, we're ready to go. There's a break. It doesn't matter. All right, going from here. That's what it looks like. I think it's going to be trivial to get through the barn, but you know, unless we try for sure, we don't know. All right, this plane is nice. It doesn't move at like scary speeds. So you don't get scared flying it, but it's got a great view. Uh-oh. I don't know how to fly this thing. Let's try that again. Actually, can we restart the flight? Let me see if I do a restart there. I don't know what I did wrong, but I mean, besides crashing into the ground.
Whiskey Yankee Tree 2 traffic.
Keep full power on.
Taking off runway 26.
I don't have anything. What's this down here? Throttle, right? Throttle's on. Engine choke. I don't think we need that. Alright. Watch airspeeds carefully. We've definitely got plenty of flying speed here. Okay. Flaps up. Keep the engine on a boil. I love my little horses down there, though. Wild, wild horses. Okay, now this time we're going to do this except... Oh, yeah. See, like, any kind of... The thing I always keep forgetting is that we're already at 6,500 feet. So any planes that are, especially propeller-powered, with piston-powered, are gonna be acting like they're at a very high altitude, because we are, even at ground level. But that doesn't mean we can't fly. It just means you have to compensate a little bit. This plane is again a sport ultralight. It would definitely be kind of fun to think, a fun one to have fly around your ranch in. There's a guy with the wheelbarrows down there. Yeah, that's fine. We'll check him out later. There's a bunch of people hanging out at the ranch. They're a bunch of bums though. They never work. They never get anything done. Okay, there's their feed hopper on the right side there. Come down here. We want to brush this fence here as if we didn't care. We're going to go through that, what really is apparently a gaping hole, because it is. It's not even an issue. Oh, I forgot to turn my recorder on. Let's turn the recorder on this time. Oh, we have plenty of time. Okay. Recorder. Oh, I forgot to turn live weather back on because I turned it off. Live weather's back on. It's probably the same. Okay, turn the panel to record. All right, we're going to get ready to do a lineup, and then we'll hit the record button. And yeah, so we're going we're going like 55 knots. All right, we're going to go over this ranch house here. Come in under here. Hit the record button. Come in down this way here. Okay, we're recording. So it's recording this pass. Stay nice and low. I'm sure we're fine. And then we can go wee. And now we can do a stop. And then we can do a play. And now it's playing back our little playing, and we can see it from any angle. You can see how low. Oh, I want to see if we'll see in a second. We'll see if we brush the ground, with the tail. Let's see from here. Let's see from here. Getting real low. Oh, we didn't brush the ground, and I don't think we hit anything. It's a small plane. Again, here's what it looks like from here. That's a pretty good run, really. Here's what it looks like from... Let's try it again. Okay, we can go... Alright, we can go here. Right. That's kind of a cool look. There. Kind of cool panel. And then what can we do? Like, stop. Oh, I didn't know what stop did. Take plane control. When was I taking plane control? And why is my plane messed up? Tire malfunction. Alright, that's it for the flying around for today. I had a good time, but you know, it wasn't typical, which is fine. The typical thing is, I don't know how to describe it. A little more, I don't know what to say. Honestly, doesn't matter. How you doing, Defuck TV? By the way, I'm feeling we're at the end of this flight simulator stream. I talked about it before, and I meant it. I want to watch the first 4 minutes. We're gonna go to just chatting. Give me a second here. Okay, we're in just chatting. Give me a second here. I'm gonna quit. We're quitting the flight simulator. That's gonna take a second. We're gonna watch the first 4 minutes of it. Hold on a second. And then there might be some commentary. Okay, I'm gonna quit the desktop. How you doing today, by the way? I don't know about what I consider that a successful flight simulator mission. It looks like he might have left. That's fine. Go here. Go to my YouTube. Give me a start. I'm actually gonna do a search. Come on. What's going on here? What's going on? Stop. 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 Jeez. What was that? Excuse me. Something randomly started up on my YouTube for no reason. Let me see if it's going to do that again. It's not going to do that again. So I guess, does season 25 include the early stuff? No, it doesn't. So I want to just do the original stuff. Hold on a second here. Hold on a second here. Boy, it's 2 years ago. Okay. Okay, ready? Okay. This is the very beginning, I believe. The very beginning of Skibbity Toilet, episode 1. And this is kind of the remastered version of all those ones, up to 77, I think. But anyway, the point is, we watched all of them on the screen, I think. But you got to remember the kind of the early ones, and you look at these early ones, and there's some, you know, like even in this very first frame, you see that there's humans as well as cameramen, people. These humanoids have had their heads replaced by electronic devices. But we haven't seen the toilet yet, although we kind of got a guy who looks like he came from the toilet. Anyway, let's just watch and see what happens here. Also, this music is really cool. So the head pops out of the toilet. Toilet's pretty dirty. It's pretty scary. There's a lot of horror imagery. Why are the urinals in the elevator? But they're singing, which I think is cool. You don't get this in the later episodes. We never see her again. And that's basically the episode 1. It becomes militant quite quickly, but these guys are still just basically heads in toilets that spin. But the facial expressions are so scary. I guess we do see people here, and they're like, "What the hell's going on?" See, there already are toilets that are dining along with people. And then we have like a big one along with the little dudes. And it also kind of explains very much later what they're singing or something. And these are more Star Wars references there, with direct stealing of the music. And here's this Skibbity DJ. You don't see him again. But that, that facial work really requires a lot of effort. But again, popping out of the toilet, it's not a great effect. Like the water doesn't move. But there's a flushing sound. And you don't find out later that they're vulnerable to being flushed. That effectively kills them. Always a button. Well, they became. You'll find that out shortly. But they became. They learned to place defenses on their flusher buttons, so they wouldn't be killed by somebody reaching behind them and flushing them. Which is really cute. I mean, that's adorable. And I kind of like that they're, they come in sizes, but they're still just heads and toilets at this point. And that's kind of a statue. I didn't even notice some of this stuff. But the constant singing really works. There's the first time you see somebody trying to run away. And that's the secret agent, I think. Or he's a cameraman. So those are like police officers' activities. It's like they were in control in the beginning, and then the other guys came and started fighting them. And also there's a lot of religious motifs and stuff going on, even later on. But right from the beginning, it's like they're more than just heads in a toilet. There's some kind of god. Oh, he just flushed that dude. Alright, that's all we want to watch of this, though. That's 3 minutes of the early, but I kind of wanted to watch the earlier stuff, and I'm glad I did, because it's a lot more charming in a lot of ways than the scenes in which everything's burning, everything's shaking, and there's just energy beams bouncing off of shields, energy shields, until either the energy beam dies or the shield dies. It's not that exciting, and this is more... definitely, I think the first 10 minutes are really a lot more evocative of something really weird going on, and not just a battle between kind of alien races that don't really communicate well with each other. All right, that was interesting. Next on the list of things I like to do on every single stream is, as you know, the big brain games. Let me start getting those up here. The big brain games consist of me playing the Quirtle. We'll just get through let's just get through this couple of trivia games. I am a certified trivia master. Actually, I don't know about certification. Let's see. Okay, upper left could be brush, but could it be brusque with a K? Let's work on it. This one here, this could be RUIT, so it could be fruit on the lower left, right? What else could it really be? Okay, PRI something Y. Privy, PRIVY. There's not a lot of words that kind of fit that one. Let's see. This ends in a T, has an E and an S and an L. And the I has to go over here. ISET. It's not visit. Oh, wait. CSI something ET. Huh. Let me think about that. Maybe it starts with an I. Oh yeah, there's an L in it. So it's ILET, right? LET. Not too many things you could be. Just gotta think for a second there. Alright, now it still could be brush or brusque, but let's just do brush. I don't think brush. Brusque is not necessarily in the dictionary. I don't know. Next game, considering where we are in the stream, which is fine. I've got no particular place to go. I kind of want to do a long stream today anyway. All right, so let's do another Quirtle. We'll do the extreme harder. It doesn't take me. Oops, it doesn't take me that long to do because of my dang it. 3 powerful starting words that I use always for all these games every time and have for years. If I could find better ones, I would do it. Let's see. Upper left could be scrum. Upper right, excuse me. Then we got PIEPLIE, and then something plied, because it couldn't be plier because R is not in it. Let's see. Could this be navel on the upper left? I mean, it could be, but is it? It is. All right, and then on the lower right, we got. Let's see. There's an E to the left of the R. So something ERAT. But what? No. Terra, TERRA. Fits. Let's check it out. Noise. All right. The next one we're going to do is revealed. This can be a very tricky game, but I like it. And I get most of it. Okay, person, you get a clue, which is a person or the type thing that we have to find out. A person whose name has 2 words, starts with a 7-letter and a 6-letter, blah, blah, blah. And then use this heavily redacted document to try to guess who the person is. We can reveal these, but we want to try to figure out who it is, hopefully, with the fewest number of reveals. So let's just read this and see if we can get any clues from the wording here. So, born something, died March 10th something, was a blank blank who blank from blank in the blank to become a blank blank before the blank. She, so it's female, that tells us a lot. Blank blank of blank to blank in the blank along the blank of the blank and blank. Blank of blank blank for that purpose. I want to reveal this one. Underground railroad. Well, that really gives us a lot of potential clues. The conductor of the underground run was wasn't it Dorothy something? What was her name? I'm cheating. You know I know who this is, right? What's the underground lady? Or was it Susan something? Harriet Tubman. But it can't be her, right? That doesn't fit. It does fit. All right. I knew it was Harry Tubman. I didn't need to see that. I didn't need to do independent research. All right, let's just move along with our lives. All right, blah 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 blah. Nobody cares. I don't care. That's slightly cheating. I'll give that to you. All right, we're gonna do the trivia. The tightrope trivia, you can't cheat at because it's timed, so it's not like you can look over and do any lookups. All right. Rope so popular. It was Nostradamus. Blah blah blah. The prophecies. And what is ABBA? Waterloo. A good song too. We're gonna play guitar later, pretty soon. Pinball machine business. And so Omaha Bar. Is that Buffett? I assume. Odette, marriage or what? That's Swan Lake. That was a good guess. I don't know ballet that well. Ouch. But we're timed, so I'm trying to get these fast, and I'm losing points. Remember the patricians or averages are known as plebeians. Eesh. Patricians or plebeians? Plebs, I don't know. Changing managers 5 times a season, the baseball team was having a tumultuous, would fit there. The best. All right, we got 6 out of 9. That's up. I like to get them all. Tied with Tennessee, Roses, which is touches 8 others, including Nebraska and Kentucky. Nebraska and Kentucky. Shoot, that was hard on Missouri. Man. Oh, I don't know how easy that one. Callisto, we've seen this. Well, we haven't seen that one. We saw one which talked about Titan, which is Saturn, but Callisto was Io and Calypso and Jupiter. That's fine. The unusual smell of this plant, also known as Titan arum, attracts insects such as flesh flies and carrion beetles for small. Which plant? I think they're talking about the corpse flower. Well, that's not good. I mean, 8 out of 9 isn't terrible. But there's always tomorrow's trivia quiz. I'd still do better than Taylor Starlight every time. She is actually quite smart. I don't know if you guys know who Taylor Starlight is, or anybody cares. It's a Twitch streamer. What is going on? Look at this. It's a bug. It's failing. It's failed. It failed to give me a result. What if I refresh? No. Wow. It didn't give me a result for the tightrope today. That's interesting. That's bugged out. It's bugged out. I'm going to click here again. That is, I've never seen this happen before. Not that I care. Hey, I'm not paying money for this. It's not like a program I bought or something like that. All right, let's do some Nocturnals. Those can't bug. I don't think those are bugged out. Those are the last 2 games. Look, we got 8 out of 9. I don't want to hear about it. But we did not get a score today because bugged out. All right, let's see here. We got 8 of these, so let's look at what we got here. This could be Boost, right? B-O-O-S-T on the lower right or left. This could be, let's see, Scout, S-C-O-U-T on the left there. Let's see, we have probably Pushy, P-U-S-H-Y, right? It can't be Pussy. Let's see, we got Crude, maybe. It could be a couple of things, but I think it's likely to be Crude. Yeah, that's good. The D was helpful up here. This could be on the upper left, could be Droll, D-R-O-L-L. This is the easy one. We're going to do a hard one of these, too. Yeah, right. Where was I? P something, and there's an E. It could be Peach. I think it has to be Peach. P-E-A-C-H, upper right. Lower left ends in an H, has an R and an A in it. Okay, well, let's check out the bottom one here. Oh, here we have an O-A-M and E. I think he's got to start with a vowel, right? Oof. A. M. E. There's be an O in there. There was a G in it. Interesting. Okay, now that's helpful. I'm glad I guessed that word. There's a couple extra guesses here. Now we can get it. Okay, so there's M and G. The A has as the M. Omega. That's easier to find when you know the consonants there. All right, last one is again. This is a really hard one. Let's see. It could end in A. A could end. Was there something else could be before that H? I don't really think so. All right. So it's A, there's an A there, maybe another A. Here. Or something AH. I think that's a word, Raja, Rajah, but it's hard to come up with that one. I did win it. We're gonna do the final one. The final brain game of the day is the rescue. I like to do it because it's really hard, and I only get about 50% of the time. It's a lot like their other octordals, except that you don't get to use your own 3 starting words. They choose 4 random starting words for you that are always terrible. But it's how terrible you don't know. Let's see. This one at least here has, let's see, SPOUT, right? Lower right could be SPOUT because that all fits. Right? It does all fit. There's always at least one easy word. This one here there's a R, A, and a E and a T to place. So we have all the words, or all the letters. So let's see, what could it be? What water, WATER on the lower right. Duh. All right, let's move on. Let's see, this one has an I to place and a D to place. DOIN, could be doing, DOING. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, what else do we have here? Something ER, and it could be anything in there. It could be, what could it be there? Because sheer, it could be SHEER, right? Upper left probably is. All right, let's see. We have lower right here we have ET, and then an I to place. And it can only go those. Oh no, we know where the I is. E blank IT. But that's all the letters. But what could it be? It could be. It can't be 8. It could be elite. 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 Okay, we're doing good on the rescue, by the way. All right, okay, lower left here, THIE, and then there's no R, but this could be thief, THIEF, because it can't be there. Alrighty, we're moving along. Here we have an L and an R to place. It could be Revel, REVEL. All right, we're down to the last one. We're doing really well on the rescue, and because we have 2 guesses to guess this last one, and plenty of clues. We know where the L are, L and the A are. What we need to know that we know where the L and the A go. We need to know where the R and the E go. I believe the E has to be at the end, right? The E has to show up at the end. Oh, well, we knew that. Okay. So we need to know where the R goes. And the R can only be here. So it's L-A-R-E. So Blair, B-L-A-R-E, right? It's got to be Blair. We win. All right, we're moving on from the brain games, which is good because I love doing the brain games. And it's important that I didn't have a stroke overnight or something. I just do them on a daily basis, just to kind of keep my mind, try to keep mine on a somewhat limber basis. Got lots more streaming to do today, lots more streams to do before next Tuesday, which is when our next day off is. All right, we're moving along into the musical category. Give me a second. I'm going to run my mid-roll. I'm going to change her up a little bit. I'm going to strap my guitar on, get ready to get the guitar set up and ready to go. It'll take a couple minutes, maybe refresh my Diet Coke a little bit here, and yeah, we'll see you on the other side of that for the musical portion of the show. Thank you. Just like that, we're back in the musical. We're back in action. Can you hear me? Check one, check two. The microphone a little closer. Closer the better. Working a little bit on this new fancy cheap guitar. Check, 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 check one. I don't know if that affects too much. Check one, check one. Reverb. That I need for the singing. All right. What is a fancy cheap guitar? It's a guitar I bought on Amazon, sight unseen, very few reviews. It's called a Leo James. It's definitely an off-brand guitar. I don't know exactly where they're manufactured. I'll talk about that in a second. But this is their highest end model, which is about $300. They don't. I checked the Amazon site and they're out of them, but I'll bet they'll come back again. But it's got a lot of fancy features, locking tuners, and kind of a really nice, definitely a nice looking construction, beautiful looking construction. Bolt-on neck, lots of these really nice looking fret markers, dual humbucker pickups that are actually pretty decent, adjustable bridge. Unlike their lower end models, you get both a volume and a tone control and a 3-way switch. Kind of the basics, but it's what you need. So, but then I had to set this up myself, and I'm still working on getting the setup right. Having a little trouble keeping in tune, but it is what it is. I think I got the intonation pretty close. It looks really good. I need to wear a green shirt, maybe not a purple shirt. But look, I mean, the burling, it's called a burled walnut, but it's very dimensional. You can kind of see in the screen. In person, it's pretty cool. It's got a lot of dimension to it. And for a cheap guitar, it looks great. But an important thing, does it play? And it does play once you're set up. sing a song or two? Reverb on. For the singing. Sorry. The song is called Do It Every Time. That's not what it's called. Come on in, take a seat next to me. You know we got what you need. We may be liars preaching to choirs, but we can sell your dreams. You don't need sympathy, they got a pill for everything. Just take that dark cloud, bring it out to wash it down, but I don't pray for us. We don't need no minor Jesus to roll with us. The only rule we need is never giving up. The only faith we have is faith in us. We are the ones who start little fires, yet they burn out. But when they're on the rise, they can't help but shine. And when the wave approaches, take our ashes to the ocean. Who cares if hell awaits? We're having drinks at heaven's gate, but I don't pray for us. We don't need no minor Jesus to roll with us. The only rule we need is never giving up. The only faith we have is faith in us. We know that we're helpless, at least that's what we assume, but we won't need to prove nothing to you. Let's all stay cool. You don't want to feel blue, but we won't sell you nothing you can't use. Don't pray for us. We don't need no minor Jesus to roll with us. The only rule we need is never giving up. The only faith we have is faith in us. Alrighty, back to the karaoke. Well, starting the karaoke. Napoli 21 right, tune her up again. Cheryl did this one. One of my faves. There she goes. There she goes again. Racing my brain. And I just can't contain this feeling that remains. There she goes. There she goes again. Pulsing my veins. And I just can't contain this feeling that remains. You'll never stop me loving that song. Okay, next one's Sister Golden Hair. I don't remember which is. It's not this one. Let's do Sister Golden Hair next. Sister Golden Hair. Capo. One? I'll figure it out. Which is the version I like? No, not this one. The other one. Hold on. This one. Carefun. I always like this. Carefun. They're much better. Well, I tried to make it Sunday, but I got so damn depressed that I set my sights on Monday, and I got myself undressed. I ain't ready for the altar, but I do agree there's times when a woman sure can be a friend of mine. Well, I keep on thinking about you, Mr. Golden Hair Surprise, and I just can't live without you. And you see it in my eyes. I've been one more correspondent. I've been too hard to find, but it doesn't mean they've been on my mind. All right, what do we want to do next? I love these songs. This one goes out to the one I love.
This one goes out to the one I left behind. A simple prop, occupy my time. This one goes out to the one I love. This one goes out to the one I left behind. A simple prop, occupy my time. This one goes out to the one I love. This one goes out to the one I love. This one goes out to the one I left behind. Another prop has occupied my time. This one goes out to the one I love.
Well, Wonderwall's Oasis is on tour, so of course we're going to keep doing Wonderwall.
Today, gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do. Don't you now? Back me, the word is on the street that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead us there are blinding. There are many things that I'd like to say to you, but I don't know how. 'Cause maybe
I'll probably kiss me.
Sinking.
This is where we did, shit. Stop me from reading that song because I love it so much. These are all good songs,
You say we got nothing in common. Coming round to start from. And we're falling apart.
not strange currencies, but I do want to do driver 8. We should do some James Taylor too. Let's try do driver 8. This is the one we do. One of these.
Take a break, driver 8, driver 8, take a break. We've been on this shift too long. And the train conductor says, take a break, driver 8, driver 8, take a break. We can't reach our destination, still a ways away. I saw a treehouse on the outskirts of the farm. Power lines have a router so the airplanes won't get snagged. Bells are ringing through the town again. Children look up, all they hear are sky blue bells ringing. And that train conductor says, take a break, driver break. Driver 8, take a break. We can't reach our destination, it's still a ways away. Still a ways away. Way to see the Haiti. Way to put myself to sleep. Way to shield the hated heat. Way to put myself, my children to sleep. I heard this song in a plane like that one. She is selling baby on the gold crusade. Look to motivate, southern caress and hear the bells ringing. Feel 2 meters and looking big. And the train conductor says, take a break, driver break. Driver break, take a break. We've been on the ship too long. Conductor says, take a break, driver break. Driver break, take a break. We can't reach our destination, still a ways away. Still a ways away.
Definitely on tune now. Next song. Oh yeah, I just wanted to do want to do this. Then we'll do some James Taylor. Definitely on tune though. It's not keeping tune that well, but maybe when it gets a little played in a bit. All right, close enough for comfort. What is the key here? Is it Capo 2? Not a great key, but a little high. In concert, he does it lower.
Turn my head till my darkness goes. the blue. I could not foresee this thing happening to you. And I look hard at love in her setting sun. My love went back with me before the morning come. I see her door and the morning painted black. No colors anymore, I want them to turn black. See that girls are bright, dressing up summer clothes. You turn my head until my darkness goes.
Just the song I was going to pick. It's amazing. Sometimes it is reading my mind.
Mind, I'm going to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine? Hit me from behind. Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. Carrying Jesus, silver sun. You better walk her away and watch it shining. Watch her and watch the morning come. A silver tear appearing now. I'm crying. And I'm going to Carolina in my mind. Ain't no doubt in no one's mind that love's the finest thing around. Whisper something soft and kind. Hey babe, the sky's on fire. I'm dying. And I'm going to Carolina in my mind. In my mind, I'm going to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. Dark and silent late last night, I think I might have heard the highway calling. He's in flight and dogs are biting. Signs that might be omen say I'm going, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. With a holy host of others standing around me. Still I'm on the dark side of the moon. And it seems like it goes on like this forever. You must forgive me if I'm a bad going to Carolina in my mind. In my mind, I'm going to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine? You hit me from without me. I'm gone, fade out.
It's a good song. Do I have any more I like to do? Fire and Rain.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Shoes and the plans they made put an end to you. Walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You got to help me make a stand. You just got to see me through another day. My body's aching, my time is at hand. I won't make it any other way. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. In my mind doing easy time, my back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. And there's hours of time on the telephone line that talk about days to come. Sweet dreams and flying machines and pieces on the ground. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. That I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I'd always thought that I'd see you, baby, one more time again now. Thought I'd see you one more time again. There's just a thing coming my way.
Pretty much for my voice, but I always like to do. I'm not gonna do another James Taylor song. One past where I'm sounding good. And it's a classic. The last song.
Where did we go? Days when the rain came down in the hollow, playing a new game. Laughing and running, skipping and So hard to find my way now that I'm on my own. Tiger asked the other day about how you have known. I guess my belly back there, Lord. Sometimes I'm overcome when thinking about taking every competing gas behind the stadium with you, brown-eyed girl.
Why do I lip sync that song too much? Can we do more? Eesh, maybe not Amy. What's after that? No. Let's see if we can find one REM song to do here. Sure. Well, alright. What do we do? We did Losing My Religion. Or we did The One I Love. Or we did Losing My Religion. We did Man on the Moon. What other songs do I like to do of theirs? I guess we'll do Strange Currencies. Since I do like that song. I always gets me muted, so I guess I'm doing it pretty well. Air horns.
I don't know why you're mean to me. When I call on the telephone, I don't know what you mean myself to catch myself and make it real. These words, you will be behind. These words, you will be behind all the time. Ooh, these words, you will be behind. These words on me, knock me down, catching my throat, make me break to say love's goodbyes.
This guitar is starting to wear it a little bit. It's got a ways to go before it really can play correctly. It's guitars need to vibrate, get the vibrations in, settle in, get the wood needs to acclimatize to your environment. But then it's a good guitar. All right, hold on here. There's me playing live. Okay, do all that. I'll take this up here. Starting to warm up in here. Pull it down there. Fancy cheap guitar from Amazon. I kind of like it. I shouldn't be buying guitars at all though. I got plenty of I poured myself some more. That was helpful. Oh, Bella's on. How nice. Haven't seen her on in a while. Anyway, good to see everybody. Thank you so much for dropping by. If you did, or you watch on the VODs, whatever it is. I don't know. It's my friend. I gotta go watch some streamers. But yeah, I'll be if you like that, I'll be streaming tomorrow. Also the day after that. Thursday is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. No stream. Starts with a TU. Who can stream on a day that starts with a TU? Then Wednesday, but not Thursday. But then Friday. Come on, you get the idea eventually. Always roughly around 11:30 a.m. my time, which is Pacific Standard Time. Who knows what time it is for you? There's 24 time zones in the world. I don't know which one you're in. How would I know that? I don't know anything. But we'll do the whole thing again. We're going to stream. It's going to be hopefully a smoother and more interesting and more picturesque a day tomorrow. We'll pick a better place and a better plane for the flying segment. But it will also be a musical segment that will consist of me dragging my piano in and playing the Ken's Piano Lounge right here in front of you live, taking requests and everything. It's a live show every single time. But I had such a good time. We're going to do it all again. But in the meantime, you're going to have to wait until tomorrow for more content. So here's my ending screen.